What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode here on CNR TV. I'm Kurt.
I'm Josh.
And today we are covering episode 4 of the Loki series. This one was way up there as far as it may have been the best episode I've seen on Disney Plus.
I think it might be, yeah. It was a winner for sure.
Without further ado, we're going to jump into the recap, and then we can discuss it even further and see if you guys agree. So let's jump into this recap. First of all, holy crap balls, Batman. Episode 4, the Nexus event, started with a little backstory. We got to witness Sylvie being snatched by the TVA as a child, and eluding her variant pruning by a dispassionate Rainslayer. But the scene immediately became a bit of a Loki timeline headache. This wasn't a quick pruning before a Nexus event hit the red line. Sylvie was born a Loki, and lived for quite a few years on Asgard before Rainslayer and the TVA stepped in. We then snapped back to the present, when the TVA stepped in to haul Loki and Sylvie out of the momentous apocalypse, which ultimately led to Mobius and B-15 facilitating their escape from captivity. Now, we all suspected this might happen. What we didn't know was how it was going to go down, and the answer came in an agonizing drips as Mobius and B-15 started to question everything they thought they knew about the TVA and its mission. In episode 4, Rainslayer did her best to get rid of Loki and Sylvie, but the duo appeared to have formed quite the bond in their brief time together, a bond that Mobius picked up on fairly quickly. Elsewhere, Owen Wilson just continued killing it as Mobius. He and Loki's friendship has been such a key emotional anchor in this series, and the thrill of watching Mobius connect the dots and finally try to break out of the box the TVA put him in was cut awfully short by his sudden death at the end of a pruning stick. So, the omnipotent lizard-like timekeepers are nothing but androids, huh? Again, this is something that many Marvel fans have anticipated. But who is really behind the TVA? Is it really going to turn out to be Kang the Conqueror? It's hard to forget that Rainslayer is Kang's girlfriend in the Marvel comics, and Kang is definitely set to make an appearance in the now filming Ant-Man 3. Episode 4 gave us some huge surprises in its final minutes. We had to watch Rainslayer kill Loki in the middle of confessing his feelings before Sylvie captured her. Not for nothing, but the way that Rainslayer's eyes changed when she faced the end may have been easy to miss upon the first watch. But it seemed like her death may well have been a mercy. I wonder, how much of Rainslayer's villainy is beyond her control? Then, there was that post-credits scene. Finally. Of course Loki isn't dead. Loki got his own "come with me if you want to live" moment instead. And we were introduced to a whole bunch of new Loki variants who seemed to have already figured out how to cheat TVA crackdowns. Well, there you have it, guys. So, Josh, tell me what you thought, man. I'm really excited to hear what your thoughts on this.
I absolutely loved that episode. Incredible. I even thought this is like a slow, like it's going to be a build-up episode to 5 and 6, but so much happened. It was unbelievable. I
know, man. I caught myself on several different occasions in that episode with my mouth just hanging open like, yeah. What just happened?
And it kept going.
I know.
So many times I thought, it's going to cut credits here, and it just kept going.
and another moment, like that. And it was just like, man, they're just piling it on after that slow episode, character building episode last week.
Yeah.
We got just bam, bam, bam.
And which really, that last episode laid the groundwork for their relationship. Just a little strange.
That is yourself. The definition of a narcissist falling in love with himself.
And I'm glad Mobius called it out too.
Yeah,
he hammered him pretty hard about loving himself and how weird that is. But let's start from the beginning. Why do you think they took Sylvie as a kid?
I don't know, man. Other than maybe what's currently happening is the fact that Sylvie was destined to uh, destroy what the TVA has been doing all this time. And so they tried to prune her when she was young.
Go back before she could do any harm.
What they did accidentally was create who Sylvie is, a danger to them.
Self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
What about
I
you?
did like I had that initial thought, but I don't know. I've heard a lot of theories of, I think we even discussed this earlier. She was born a girl, and Loki's a man, so maybe it created an Nexus event.
Ooh, yeah.
But why would they wait so long to get her?
But it doesn't appear like, they said that she when Rainslayer came out there, she said that, for crimes against the timeline.
Yeah.
But she had never done anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that this was and I'm gonna say it, Kang was trying to protect himself.
I could see that. But that kind of falls back into the theory of they're stopping her before she creates problems.
Well, what do you think is going to happen with all the other TVA employees once they all start becoming aware that they've been kidnapped?
Are they going to become aware? Is the TVA going to stop that from happening as best they can?
I don't know, man.
Be on site kind of thing.
I think the TVA is done already. I mean, their leadership has fallen. The curtain has dropped. We've found the man behind the curtain.
Sort of.
Or sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was somebody pulling the strings,
Right. This is definitely the nail in the coffin for the TVA.
And now Sylvie has Ravonna,
Yeah.
Unless she escapes somehow.
Right. I'm sure she will somehow, but who do you think? Okay. When they first showed the timekeepers, that first shot, I was like, they're real. We've talked about them being fake or just an idea to keep people in line. It's like, holy crap, they're real. And then you see them later in the episode, and they look goofy as hell.
Yeah, it was cartoonish almost,
Yeah, the one with the big mustache.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think I was ever convinced that they were really the timekeepers. Even when I saw them, I was like, something's up.
Right.
Something's up, But
I was thinking they were real. I was so disappointed with how they looked.
They were terrible. Yeah, I mean,
it was such a relief to find out they're Chuck E. Cheese animatronics.
Yeah, that was a big Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. Yeah. What did you think about Loki almost confessing his love to Sylvie?
It was weird. I bought into his delivery because he doesn't do that with anybody. They kept hammering home about how alone he is.
Yeah,
so
that's
him
true.
Struggling to get it out made sense, but it's weird because it's him, but not really. But really,
it's like the ultimate. I mean, falling in love with yourself type situation.
Like we said, narcissist to the core.
Do you think we will see Kang in Loki before it's over?
I really hope so. I hope so. I could see, and I mentioned this earlier in the day, of a Age of Ultron post-credit scene. You have Thanos come grab the gauntlet, and he says, "I'll do it myself." I could see Kang having a moment. Maybe you see the back of him, and he has a neat one-liner.
Post-credit scene thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just a quick flash. You know what's coming. Although I don't think we'll see him head on. Although I kind of do wonder if we already have. If you see the faces on the wall behind the judges,
right?
The one in the middle, I think it is, looks a lot like him.
It does.
From the comics. So
okay. What do you think of the in the post-credit scene, the Lokis that showed up?
It's confusing.
Can
I'm
you
sure
name
everyone-
them?
Classic Loki, which is the comic variant.
Right.
Oh god, Kid Loki, obviously. I can't, I can't think of the other one. The
Boastful.
Boastful. That's right.
Boastful Loki with the Thor hammer.
Yes, which that's awesome.
And then the to become known as Loki Lizard.
Yeah. Yeah. Alligator Loki.
An alligator with a Loki helmet on.
Here's a fun fact about the Boastful Loki. Tom Hiddleston actually auditioned to be Thor.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and they liked him enough to hey, we have an opportunity for Loki, so he took it.
Oh, he's a
then it's
perfect
obviously
Loki,
winning.
man. I mean,
Yeah.
couldn't imagine
So,
anybody else doing it.
Right. So that could be a neat little nod to that, but also just he was the worthy one of the hammer. Although the hammer looks really weird.
And you pointed out something earlier today about where Loki wakes up.
Yeah.
And I had missed it, and a couple other people we know missed it as well. But it is a post-apocalyptic New York with the tower, the Stark Tower, in the background.
Right. But we can't tell if it's the Stark Tower or the Avengers Tower. It's the same building, but it would explain where in the timeline we are.
Right.
It is
And
the Stark Tower until the end of Avengers.
what do you think? We had talked about predictions of what had happened there.
I think it's a timeline where the nuke does go off in the first
That
event.
Tony doesn't get it out of the
Right.
wormhole in time.
Right. Everyone's wiped out. It maybe the Chitauri succeed and blow everything up. Because it doesn't look like a nuclear blast necessarily, because there's so much left over, and it's
That's
all
true.
over.
Yeah, it looks like remnants of a battle.
Right. So maybe Thanos won, or maybe this is Kang winning.
Were you the one that said something about the Loki Avengers? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear the Avengers theme play after the classic Loki starts talking, and then you see the group of Lokis, and the Loki theme interrupts the Avengers theme. So I'm hoping for a team up of Loki Avengers.
Loki Avengers against who, though?
The TVA, Renslayer.
So there's a possibility, a small possibility, that there is another Loki variant that could potentially be the big bad in this. I don't think so.
We did talk about that. A Loki is what's running the TVA. What do you think's going to happen next episode?
Well, the only thing that has thrown me off is because now he's in this post-apocalyptic New York. But we've seen the pictures of him in the mayoral or president, whatever. Looks like he's running for office.
President Loki, yeah.
Yeah, President Loki. So that's got to happen soon. I'm thinking that's going to happen, but I have no idea where they're going with it.
Maybe President Loki is the Loki variant running the TVA.
Oh, possibly.
I doubt it, but it would be cool. Kang has to, and I can't emphasize this enough, has to play into this in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing else really makes sense. And as we've been predicting this, and other reviewers have predicted, the consensus is that Kang is the bad guy. He's running the TVA, and Ravonna is his girlfriend, and she's the only one that knows what's going on. Yeah. Kang is potentially the other analyst she keeps referring to when she was talking to Mobius, like her meetings with him, leaving the rings.
I just had a thought too. The first or second episode, they talk about the beginning of time being classified and the end of time being classified. So they kind of laid that groundwork to a small degree. I wonder if that will factor in at all.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, it said if I remember correctly, the timekeepers were weaving time to avoid something at the end of time or something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember something like that happening.
Yeah,
What was that? That was in the first episode, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, okay, one more question. What do
Okay.
you really think happens when you're pruned?
That's a good question, because we now know after Loki got pruned that you don't die. You're not wiped out of existence.
Right. Is it limbo? Some kind of, I don't even know what else to call it.
I don't know, man. That's going to be interesting on how they explain how Loki got pruned and went somewhere else. Unless
does every variant go to the same place, and there's different places for every variant? Like, is Mobius with a bunch of other Mobiuses?
And the TVA has been around for a long time, right? So that's potentially millions or even billions of people they've wiped out over time.
Right. But we would, in my head, I'm like, we would see Mobius there with Loki because he got pruned shortly after.
Right.
But we only see other Lokis. So is there like a branch timeline? Here's my headcanon. I'm creating something as we talk. There's a specific timeline for every variant that is just like a dead world. There's no advancing that timeline. There's no escape. It's just stagnant.
So it's like a prison.
Every variant of a certain type goes to a certain place. Like Mobius's go to Mobius planet. Loki's go to some other timeline.
That's interesting, because maybe Mobius is with a bunch of other Mobiuses. We had talked about there being Mobius variants.
Right.
Not obviously there is.
Right.
So maybe he goes where all the other Mobius variants who have been pruned go.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I really don't. I really hope he's not dead. I really hope that they find a way to bring him back.
Well, it triggered that thought of pruning isn't death, because they did it without any ceremony. She was just like, do it. And then there wasn't even like a big music cue or anything. It just happened.
Right. That was shocking. That was one of those open mouth moments, you know?
So when it did, I was like, that should have been a way bigger deal. So maybe that he's not dead. And then, of course, Loki gets pruned, and I was like, aha!
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out what happens next.
And that's watching the next episode.
That's watching the next episode. All right. Well, you got anything else?
I think we covered the major beats.
Okay. Well,
just for any viewers, one of the, in my opinion, best Kang storylines is the show. I think it's on Disney Plus. Is Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's an animated show, and they did the full Kang timeline, and it was awesome.
That's a good way to learn your Kang history.
Yeah.
I'll have to go check that out.
Yeah, I don't remember season 1, I think, but it's pretty good.
Okay. Well, with that being said, guys, we are going to call it an episode. We appreciate you coming by. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you'll know when our next video drops.
Yes. Please give us any feedback. Help us make the show better.
Absolutely. We need your input, so please do so. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming by, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.
See ya.